there are many layers to the onion that is singing and vocal training. When you take singing lessons, when you buy a vocal course, you're not necessarily looking for, who's right or what's right necessarily, semantics. You're not even looking for pure practicality necessarily. And you're definitely not looking for, pure science either. What you're looking for is the layer of the onion that you need to find or dig down to get to that next level in your singing. I'm going to give you an example of this using twang in a second. I often find that I get, two different singers coming to me in my studio, same voice type, really similar voices, even same accent, same dialect, same area, working on the same song, same issue, and I actually have to give them two completely different solutions to the same issue, even though same song, same level of prowess as singers. They both require different layers to the onion. So let me use twang as an example of this. So, I mean, if you do a superficial dive into vocal training, say it's the first time you've looked up a vocal training on YouTube or something like that, and you click on one of the first shiny kind of pop, kind of happy voice coaching videos that you see, the high production ones. You're going to get variations of sounds like, nya and nay and those kind of sounds, right? You're going to get these kind of exercises, right? Nya, 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 nya. Ne, 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 ne. Those kind of sounds, right? And they're going to be like, okay, that's twang. Go for your life. Now you're a fantastic singer. And some people might. I know some people that have done, speech level singing and those more scratch the surface type methods, and they're spectacular singers. Like, man, you're just incredible. And we're going to talk about that in a second as well. So does this mean that I take that nya and nay sound, and then when I'm singing a vocal line, you want me out like an old winter cold, trying to be safe from the cold. Say we're struggling with a chorus on this or something. But when it's my time, this kind of thing. Am I supposed to just take, nya, 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 and all of a sudden I magically get twang and magically can sing that? Well, no. At least not if you're like me. You're probably going to think, what are you talking about? Like, I don't want to sing like that. I don't want to sing through my nose and be nasal and whiny like that. It's not how Chris Cornell sang. It's not how I want to sing. And I'm also not getting it. How am I supposed to apply this? Like, why? Why does that help? For some people, they're going to do those sounds. They're going to get it. And they're going to sing great. That's fantastic. I'm really happy for you if that's you. It's definitely not me. I'm going to guess it's most likely not. Most of the people watching my channel aren't the people that have done kind of superficial, scratch the surface training like that, done the sounds, and then become awesome singers. I mean, why would you follow me if that's the case? You'd be out there just singing awesomely already, right? Then you do a deeper dive. Maybe you take vocal training. Maybe you go and take singing lessons like I did. I took singing lessons for, 7, 8 years, something like that. And you might be lucky enough to get someone that says, well, actually, twang is the AES. It's the epiglottis at the very top of the throat, right? And when you're making that nay and nya sound, you're actually very slightly engaging that cartilage there, or what some people call the twanger, or at least if you're Aussie. You're engaging this cartilage there, and that's actually where your twang's coming from. So you don't really focus here when you sing. If you can hone in on that feeling there and the resonance that comes with it, this is how you apply twang in singing. Again, deeper layer of the onion, right? We've peeled back that first layer of the sounds. We've gone to, kind of where it's actually happening. Maybe this works for you. Again, didn't really work for me, because my next question was, but why? I mean, it's all good and well to, know that it's coming from the AES, but that doesn't help me do it. It doesn't help me have that deeper understanding of it. How are these two things linked? And what does this have to do with the nose? So you ask that question. And you have to do a bit more of a deeper dive to something which is a little bit more, let's call it underground, right? Deeper dive into some more stuff and research that, isn't necessarily commonly out there. And this was definitely me as a singer. I just couldn't do any of this stuff. And just as an example, funnily enough, I dug up a lot of the old training stuff. This is the very first course that I ever bought. Yes, I'm ancient. I'm an old man now. I got it at the back of, or bought it out of the back of, I think it was Australian guitar or Australian classic rock magazine in about 1998. It was about $9 for these cassettes. It had a little pamphlet thing with it, which I no longer have. And I even went on to buy the full book, which came with the CDs and everything. If you can see that, Singing for the Stars. And this book, just as an example, and I've known lots of people over the years that have done this, and spectacular. There's strangely enough, there's reviews in the book. A large part of the book is reviews. I don't really get it. Like I already bought the book. I don't really need reviews. But anyway, it's got reviews from Stevie Wonder, Luther Vandross, Michael Bolton, like pretty incredible singers, right? They've done this and they're freaking awesome. I couldn't do one of these exercises. That's why I bought the book, because I had the cassettes and I was like, hang on, can you slow down? Can we do this a little bit lower for me? Because I can't even do the first note that you're singing here. So this kind of just made me feel bad. This was the first layer of the onion for me, like 25 years ago. And I just felt bad because there was all these spectacular singers that had done this method, and I didn't get it. I didn't get how you sing like you speak. Many, many years later, I did a bit of a deeper dive into it, and it's somewhere in here, it actually says, and somehow I missed this, it actually says somewhere in here, speech level singing doesn't mean sing like you speak. I read this at the time, first layer of the onion, and I completely omitted that and tried to sing like I speak, and I obviously couldn't do any of the exercises. Now I could do them in my sleep. I feel like a lot of YouTube coaches out there didn't really get that memo either. Singing and speaking are not the same thing, and it even says it in the fucking book. So this just kind of made me feel bad. So then I went into vocal training, and I got those further explanations, like, the AES and the twanger, this kind of thing. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then I started to have those same questions and that sinking feeling of like, man, this is not working for me. This is really not working. 4 or 5 years of training, and I'm still not really able to get a bright sound out of my voice or sing anything that I wanted to be able to sing. Oh, just sing Johnny Cash. That suits your voice really well. You sound beautiful when you sing Johnny Cash. I want to sing Bon Jovi, and I want to sing Chris Cornell, and I want to sing Robert Plant and all that kind of stuff. And a lot of people ended up kind of saying to me, well, look, you've been at this for a while. Like, is it why are you doing this? You obviously suit this other stuff. You suit lower stuff. You like heavy metal and stuff too, so sing type of negative or something like that, which is cool. It's great. It's fantastic. Wasn't really what my dream was. So then we start peeling back another layer of the onion. We start going to more and more voice coaches and really different methods out there, and going to opera coaches and all this kind of stuff. And then you start getting deeper levels of the onion. You might be really, really lucky and have someone explain to you, if you need this. You don't necessarily need to know this stuff. Again, it's not about being right or science or anything like that. If the superficial sounds work for you, that's great. Someone might explain to you that twang is actually a harmonic that's coming from your vocal folds all the time. Where we're speaking right now. Well, I'm speaking, not you. My voice is making the twang harmonic all the time. The vocal folds are together. There is the potential of 1K within my frequencies, which is about what twang is. Forward placement's about 3K. Doesn't really matter. But there's nowhere for that sound to resonate. Some of your vowels are close to that. So if you're trying to work on twang, you probably notice that some vowels are brighter than others, right? Because you're kind of piggybacking off that 1K frequency, which might exist slightly within your vowel. You get a slightly brighter vowel. So you could be mistaken in thinking that twang is related to your vowel in that sense. So what's happening when you're using your AES, the epiglottis at the top? When we close this over, we actually create a resonator, basically. So the amount of time from the vocal folds to the AES is 1,000 revolutions. So here we have our 1K frequency resonating, and the walls of the vocal tract itself really become part of your, they actually start to resonate themselves. And this is where your twang comes from. You could even do a much, much deeper dive into the onion and be like, okay, well, when you're engaging the AES there, the epiglottis, you're creating compression. Basically, you put anything in the way of the air, whether it's straw phonation, whether it's singing with a rolled up towel, whether it's your tongue, whether it's whatever it is, every single one of these little valves is a form of compression. So this form of compression helps you get better vocal folds, which improves your 1K harmonic, which then resonates within the space you've created, and you get that bright sound that some people are lucky enough to get that bright, perfectly compressed, perfect overtone from just doing nay and ya, right? These kind of bright sounds. So you can see how many layers of the onion there are to singing. And again, you don't need to research all of this stuff, and you don't need to know absolutely everything out there. And this is why you're going to get some people who say one thing about a technique, like, well, it's obviously this. And then you get someone else doing exactly the same thing. They sing exactly the same. They say, no, it's this. they're actually talking about the same thing, but different levels of the onion, basically different layers of the onion. And what you're looking for is where in the middle of that you sit. And this is also why you get people like, Stevie Wonder and Michael Jackson and Michael Bolton, who've done, courses. They've worked with Seth Riggs, and that didn't work for me. Does that mean that that doesn't work? No way. I've known many, many people over the years that swear by it. Many, many famous singers that are spectacular singers and still are spectacular singers to the day. They've used this approach. Didn't work for me for a lot of reasons, because it wasn't really that layer of the onion that was going wrong with my voice. The different variables, the voice type, the accent, the stuff I wanted to sing. I wasn't singing pop, this kind of stuff. So you can basically take any technique from twang to vowel modification to even support. And it can be different things to different people, and it can be different layers of the onion. So I've found that the only way any of this works for me is to basically dig through every layer of the onion and then piece together what works for me. And that doesn't mean that I'm clever with stuff. I think it probably means I'm unable to follow basic instructions. I think that's what really held me back the most when I was learning how to sing, is that the most basic instruction, okay, sing nya. I wouldn't be able to do it because I'm like, okay, how do you do that sound? And then the teacher would be like, well, you just go nya. Can you just do that? Well, no, I don't know how to do that. Why are we doing this? How does this relate? And then I'd get bogged down in semantics. I'd take other vocal training and I'd take some explanation that didn't freaking work for me. And I'd be so tied to that layer of the onion. Oh, but this guy sings great and he swears that this is this. He swears that compression is the secret to all great singing, right? He swears that twang is the secret to all great singing. And I kind of get tied to that. So when you take vocal training, when you watch YouTube videos, when you buy vocal courses, the many vocal courses that I bought over the years, I found a box of all of this old stuff and my old notes and some old training recordings and stuff. A lot of it's really hilarious, and some of it's just a little bit sad, to be honest. And the way I was singing was very sad, and some of the training I got is a little bit suspect, I think, at least in hindsight. You're looking for that layer of the onion that works for you. So, and that's basically what it comes down to. That's why you're going to find videos out there with people swearing that something is the secret. And you can already do it. You can already sing with twang, right? Someone out there has this big video, twang is the secret to all great singing. And you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? That's because it's their layer. It's not yours. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're going to talk soon. We're going to break down some more layers of the onion in coming videos. We'll talk soon.